Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. Today is, I forgot to look at the date, today is May 26th, which is crazy. May is almost done. My name is Grace, I am your host, like always. This is a podcast about knitting and dyeing yarn and occasionally spinning, but it hasn't been spinning in a while, and just random things that I think you guys would find interesting. I have all the various social medias that you can keep up with me on. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, Ravelry, and Instagram. All that information will be linked down below and in the show notes, which are on my blog, which will also be linked down below. There is a Ravelry group where you can go, and sometimes I post the show notes there. I am very bad about doing that, but sometimes there are show notes there. There's also a new thread. You can ask me anything, and I'll talk about that later. You can go to the groups tab on Ravelry and search for the Catnip Podcast. It'll pop up. I also have an online yarn store where you can buy some yarns that I've dyed. It is thecatnityarns.baecartel.com. And yeah, I have tea today. Even though today is going to be very hot, which is why I'm wearing a tank top, it's going to be very warm. I really wanted some tea, regardless of the temperature. Sometimes you do what you gotta do. So if you'd like to grab something tasty to drink and maybe some craftiness as well, you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So if you've watched a couple of my previous episodes, you will know that sometimes when I record I have problems with the apartment complex doing yard work or some kind of work that requires a very loud machine. And I've been trying to do that before they do that in the morning, so it's not very loud because you can definitely hear it when I record. And I was getting ready literally like 5 minutes ago, and I heard them in the distance, and I was like, I gotta hurry because they're coming and I need to record before they get here. So yes, hopefully they will not show up mid-podcast because I feel like this episode might be a little bit longer, but we'll wait and see. Because I got a lot to talk about. So yes, is there anything else I need to discuss besides the normal things? We'll go ahead and talk about the Ravelry thread because that's important information. So yes, in the podcast Ravelry group, I did put up an Ask Me Anything thread just because, why not? That's always fun. If you want to ask me a question, you can. Whether it be about knitting related, dyeing related, just yarn related, moving related, anything about me personally. If you want to know what my favorite musical is or whatever, like, you can ask me that, and I'll either answer it in the thread or I'll answer it on the podcast, depending on what the question is. So if you'd like to do that, that would be fun. Or also if I forget to put something in the show notes, side note, if you want to ask about whatever I might have forgotten. Also, I forgot to put on my rings today, so shows you how put together I am. I'll be right back. Okay, got my rings. I don't know about you, but like for me, especially when I wear rings all the time, and I have my Aggie ring that I wear all the time, and then obviously my engagement ring and my wedding ring that I wear all the time. And it's gotten to the point now that like when I don't have either one of those on, it's like, oh my goodness, it's a sense of panic and like dread that just like washes over me. Like, where are they? Usually they're either on my little ring dish by the side of the bed, or I have a little ring dish in the kitchen so I can put my rings there while I bake or wash dishes or whatever. Usually it's one of those two places, but I still forgot to put them on. So they are now on, so we can continue. Yay, we can look more put together. So yes, anyway, back to the Ravelry thread. Ask me pretty much anything. We'll answer it either there or on the podcast. Ta-da! So exciting. A lot of podcasters have these types of threads, and they're called various things. And I think it's always fun to have that opportunity and the freedom to like have a place that is dedicated to asking questions. Because sometimes, like for me, I would be a little, not intimidated, but just kind of like I feel bad like messaging these people because I'm sure they're busy and I'm sure they get a lot of messages and maybe my question isn't really that important. So there's a place for you to ask questions if you so desire. You don't have to, but it is there for you if you wish. So that is that is the Ravelry group taken care of. I'm trying to think of what else I wrote show notes out this morning, and that was very good of me. I felt very put together about that, but they are on my computer, and my computer is closed behind me, so now I'm trying to remember. I think that was pretty much it. See, I don't like necessarily having show notes in front of me, like a script almost, because that doesn't make it seem as like, not authentic, but like a conversation. So I try not to have like show notes in front of me unless I'm like actually needing to read something. But I like to type out everything beforehand so I have something in my mind of what needs to be talked about, and then I can pretty much remember what needs to be said. Reminds me a lot of taking notes for college. So once I type it out or I write it out or whatever, I can usually remember it. Obviously, but not this time because I can't remember if there's anything else that needed to be said. Because that is very relevant and needed to be said because you probably were very interested in that. Anyway, moving on to the knitting portion, which is the main portion of this podcast, and what pretty much everyone comes for, I'm sure. If you are familiar with the Knit Girls, they are another knitting podcast. It's got two hosts, Leslie and Laura, and they are the very first knitting podcast that my mom and I started watching many years ago. Maybe like 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 years ago. They have been podcasting for a very long time. They were at the beginning of it. And they are very wonderful. They have created many an event. They have their own retreat that has happened several years now, which is so exciting. I'm very happy for them that they have been so successful in their podcasting community. But they've also created something that's called Stash Dash. And if you don't know what Stash Dash is, it is basically knitters taking the idea of running a 5K or a 3K or any kind of length and then putting it towards knitting. So instead of running, we'll be knitting that amount of distance, or that distance. So there are various length options that are available. There's a 1K, 3K, 5K, 7K, 10K, and 15K. And everything is measured by meters, so that's why, hence the K. So yes, you pick one of those and you can either like post in their Ravelry group in that thread and be like, hey, I'm going to do this, and post as you go, or you can be a little less like strict about it, or more chill, I guess. I'm gonna probably be more chill just because I am terrible at posting things in Ravelry, and just kind of like keep track as I go to myself and to you guys, and on Instagram. So you should follow me on Instagram. Plug the Instagram for sure. So yes, you pick out a distance or a length or whatever, and you knit that amount. So what I usually like to do when Stash Dash rolls around, regardless of whether or not I'll be like successful or whatever, if I'm gonna follow through with all these yardages or whatever, meters, mountains of meters, that's funny. That would be a good title of this episode, Mountains of Meters, because there are definitely mountains of meters I came up with. So anyway, back to the point. What I usually like to do at the beginning of Stash Dash, which is today, by the way, I will say it runs from May 26th to August 20th. So you have so much time to knit as much or as little as you want to. And it's also, there are more rules, and there's other crafts that you could do, like crocheting and spinning and weaving and all that kind of stuff. I will link all the rules. The Knit Girls have put together a wonderful page with all the information you could ever possibly want about Stash Dash. That'll be linked in the show notes, so don't worry if you have any questions. Definitely go check that out, because they have all that written out and taken care of. And they could probably explain it much better than I could. So, yes. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh well, that's okay. Moving on. What do I like to do? Oh yes, what I like to do, excuse me, my goodness, we're all over the world, all over the place today. What I like to do at the beginning of Stash Dash is like line up all the things that I'm currently knitting and that I know I need to finish, and then also things that I want to knit. And as I go, actually, rewind. Let's rephrase that. I do it a different way. I don't know why I explained it that way. Anyway, let's regroup. So I list out the things that I'm currently knitting. I add up the meters, and as I go, I'll show it to you in just a minute, but I'm trying to explain it to you now. I line up where each level is. So under one project, it happens to use 1,000 meters, so that would be the 1K. And then there's 2 more projects because that's what it needs to get to the 3K. And so I put that line, and it's like, this is what I would need to knit to get to the 3K. And so I do that till I finish the list of the things I'm currently working on, or the things that I have that I need to finish. And then depending on where I am in the yardage amount, or meterage amount, I add things that I want to knit, whether they be small or big or blankets, whatever. There's also spinning. I didn't even factor in spinning, so that might also be a thing because that would be fun. And then there's the Tour de France, which is coming, which is like a whole other subject. So we might think about spinning. Anyway, so I did that in my handy dandy Passion Planner, which I have talked about several times before. And if you do not know what a Passion Planner is, it will be linked in the show notes below, but it is probably one of the best planners I've ever had, and I've started doing more colorful things and more bullet journal-y type things in my Passion Planner, and that has just been so enjoyable. I love that so much. I'm almost done with this one, which is crazy. I've almost had this for a year, because I remember when I got it, and it's just like, wow, a lot has happened since I got this, and that is crazy. So I will now show you my list as well as I can. I did post a picture of it on my Instagram. So if you saw my Instagram yesterday, you have seen this list. But this is what it looks like. Very nicely written Stash Dash, and then we have a little cactus because I wanted to draw something, so why not? Anyway, so you can see I have my projects here. I have the meterage and then the yardage, and then over here I have the 1K. So then I added up the other things, and then this is what gave me the 3K. And then we have the 5K, the 7K, the 10K, and then down here we have the 15K. And I also marked things that I need to cast on. Where am I? This is backwards. This is very confusing. Things I need to cast on with a yellow star or an orange star. Not that that would be confusing to me because I know what I'm knitting, but good to have that as documented information. So yes, this is what my plan is. And now I'm going to show you what exactly is currently on my to knit list. And I will include links to all the things down below, which will be a very long list of things, but that's okay because that's important. I will also link the things that I have not cast on yet. I should have pulled up pictures of them on my phone and showed them to you that way, but I did not. I'm not a prepared podcaster like that, but that's okay. There will be links. Do not worry. And I'm sure as I go through, it'll be posted places. So we will discuss it. Do not worry. Okay, so I know I listed them out in a particular order. I don't think the order really matters. Although yes, it does sometimes affect the amounts of meters that have been used, but for the most part it will be pretty much the same. So we'll just go ahead and start with the putting it down there so I can look at it easily. Move that out of the way. I'm also not sure that I have everything like nearby, so I'm gonna like do my best and hopefully I have everything nearby. Okay. Yes, so moving forward with the knitting. First on my list, in no particular order, we have the Arm Shawl, which I have shown you guys many times before. I have made no more progress than I have the last time I showed it to you, but that is okay. Because mystery knit-alongs happen, and we all know that when mystery knit-alongs happen, you drop everything and do the mystery knit-along. So yes, this is the Arm Shawl. Ta-da! So yeah, that's the Arm Shawl. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. She did the Find Your Fade, which is also on my list. Spoiler. This is knit out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. Let me show you the colors. The color lineup, we have Oyster Heather, Blossom Heather, Wonderland Heather, and Cadet. All of this information is on my Ravelry page for this project. Most of these things should be up to date. If they are not up there, they will be up there eventually, because I want to get better at that, and I'm not the best at it right now, but things to work on, you know? I apologize for my squeaky chair. Hopefully that is not an issue. If it is not the workers, it is the squeaky chair. I hear them. No. Okay, moving forward. Moving quickly because there's a lot of things to go through. And the next thing, or another thing, is the Spotlight Shawl by Janina Callio, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I've knit many of her patterns. It is an asymmetrical shawl with stripes and lace at the end in the gray. What yarn is this, you might ask? This is in fact my own yarn, and this is, so it's Cat Knit Yarns on the Pizzazz base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. Those yarn facts though. I don't know how well the sparkle is showing up, but there is in fact a sparkle. This is the Under the Sea colorway. We have blues and flecks of pinky purple magenta-y. And then as in the contrasting color, we have this beautiful gray, which is called Elephant Ears. So, and the lace will be in the gray. So that is thing number 2. I don't know why I'm numbering them because I'm probably going to forget what number I'm on. So that is that. The next thing is a recent cast on, and this is going to be a bigger thing, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish this, but fingers crossed, that would be amazing. This is a sleeve. Yay, sleeve. This is for the Brecken sweater by Amy Christophers, both ways. So yes, it's a very simple sleeve. I'm still working on the sleeve right now. I'm just working on increases. I have made progress since you have last seen this. It is much longer. I think I might have been like around here-ish when we last spoke, and so I have knit about this much, which is very nice. And yes, I made good progress. I do apologize. Last week when I talked about it, I totally did not mention the yarn, which was, when I was editing it, I was like, mention the yarn, mention the yarn. Why did you not mention the yarn? So I will tell you now, and hopefully make up for the fact that last week I did not mention it. It is Knit Picks Palette in the Tea Rose colorway. So yes, it is a lovely 2-ply, very lightweight yarn, and yes, I have a lot of it, and I am very much looking forward to this finished sweater. This is living in a bag my mother-in-law gave me that had bananas in it, which I think is very fun. So, yes. I hear them coming. Take the VPN out. Leave it in there because those VPNs are important. No, stay away. Thirdly, that was thirdly. Fourthly, there's a fair amount of knitting in here, but this is the one thing that I want to talk about. And thankfully that was very easy to get. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so I actually cast this on during our honeymoon, like right before our honeymoon, and it was very wonderful. It was a wonderful beachy knit. I apologize for looking down so much. What is this? This is the Sockhead cowl. So if you're familiar with the Sockhead hat pattern, it is literally just your typical very slouchy beanie knit with fingering yarn. But there is a cowl version, so yes. And this is very fun yarn. This is Stranded Dye Works in the Disco Glow Stick colorway, I think. So yes, this is a sock blank from Amy of Stranded Dye Works. She's very wonderful, and it has been a pleasure to knit with. So yes, that will be very easy. That will definitely be a, like, I'm gonna bring this to the movies type knit. Very simple, just round and round and round and round and round until I think it's been enough, and then I do the ribbing, and then I'll be done. So that is that, the Sockhead cowl. That is number 4. I'm going to try with the numbers. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay. Another very old project, which is not very old, but I have had it on the needles for a very long time. It has changed different needles because I've needed the various needles that it's been on. You will recognize these needles. They are the squeaky ones. This is a Clapotis, or a Clapotis, depending on how you pronounce it. I cast this on in September, October, November. And list those fall months. It was one of those months. I got this yarn when my parents and I went on our Midwest-ish tour. And this is out of Noro yarn, which, if you knew me in my early knitting career, I was all about that Noro. All about that Noro. I do not remember what base this is exactly. This was a new to me base from Noro. And yes, so this is definitely something that needs to be finished. I really want it to be finished because I am so in love with these colors. Like, specifically this teal color. There's a crying child somewhere. Why is everyone making noise? Shh. I'm recording a podcast. But yes, specifically this color, this tealy color is just like so amazing, and mixed in with these greens and these oranges. Normally I would be like, that kind of reads camo colors, which I don't like. That is just my personal preference. If you like them, more power to you. But they're just not my favorite. Normally this would be like, that's kind of camo. But then this teal like shows up. Where is this teal? The teal shows up, and it's just like, I love that. So yes, and also like when you block it, it gets softer, and it's just like, it's just one of those knits that's very satisfying. And then you get to drop down those stitches, and that is also so incredibly satisfying. I love that. I have no idea where I am in the pattern, but that is okay. We read our knitting and we figure it out. I also have a poop ton of stitch markers. Goodness gracious. No, go away. Go away, people. Go away. I do apologize. So yes, project number 5. That is Clapotis. That will be hopefully finished as well. Number 5, number 6. Something that everyone else has in it, and I have not. And what is this, you might ask? What is this on a size 16 circular inch? It is a Find Your Fade. That's the wrong side. Find Your Fade. So yes. You know what? I am actually really loving my colors. For a while, I was just like, I was not as excited as I could have been about my color choices, so I think that's why I stopped working on it, and I was just like, I need a break. I just need to, like, work on other things, because this is just not exciting me anymore. But now looking at it, pulling it out, looking at it on the camera, I love this. This is really exciting. So yeah. This is very, very like Mod Podge combination of yarns. I do not have the ones I'm going to use later in the fade, so I'll just tell you what I have now. This is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in, I don't remember the colorway. I don't remember. It was in my exploration station, I believe. This is my own yarn. Cat Knit Yarns on the Pizzazz base. This is the Rose base, or the Rose colorway, I think. Yes, Rose. And then we have another Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Sugar Plum colorway, I believe. And then we have a very cute Sucra miniature. If you know me, this is my jam right here. Pizza. I'm all about the pizza. If I could have one thing for any meal, for every meal, for the rest of my life, it would probably be pizza. No shame. No shame indeed. What bag is this living in? A Christmas bag. Why? I don't know. But that's okay. I think I cast it on shortly before, or maybe after Christmas. So, 'tis the season to be jolly. That's okay. You can never have too much Christmas in your life. I'm one of those people who will listen to Christmas music any time of the year. I will start in August. I started very early last year, so no shame. No shame. Okay, that was the Find Your Fade. What else? Okay, that's in both bags. Okay, what are we talking about? Okay, sorry. What am I doing? Okay, I keep saying okay. I do apologize. Moving forward, they are coming. They're making noise. Will they go away? I don't know. So, what I'm getting ready to show you, spoilers, 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 spoilers. If you are wanting to be surprised and do not want to see what the starting point Mystery Knit Along by Joji Locatelli looks like, I have finished Clue 1. I have not done any of Clue 2. Clue 3 came out today or last night. I'm very far behind, but that's okay. Clue 2 is not intense at all. It's just very simple, I think, from the pictures I've seen. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, look away, look away, look away, look away. But I'm getting ready to show you what I have so far, which is all of Clue 1. Both sides. Ta-da! Clue 1 is done. And that rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Anyway, so this is very wonderful. I will just show you one of these because it's hard holding on both of them at the same time. What are my yarns? People, go away. So loud. I do apologize. I did try to get it done before they came. So here we have a very light pink. It's called Rose Water. It is Manostil Uruguay in the Pheno colorway, or Pheno base. Rose Water colorway. This color here is the same yarn, same base. This is the Havisham colorway. It's a very nice, like, mauve color. Here is Madeline Tosh BFL Light, I believe, in the Flannel Blanket colorway. I have one Madeline Tosh base. I have two different, like, Madeline Tosh bases, but they're very similar. They feel the same, and so it's kind of hard to keep them straight. This little black grayish stripe here is Madeline Tosh Mo Light, which is the one with the mohair in it, in the toner cartridge colorway. And then this gray here is Madeline Tosh Mo Light, also with the mohair, in the kitten colorway. So, this is what I have. You are somehow supposed to put the two together. All the pictures I've seen on Instagram is with the two edges lining up, and it looks spectacular. They look so amazing. Everyone's colors look so wonderful, and I'm so excited to see how the rest of them turn out. Yeah, I'm very excited to make progress. I'm also very glad that I was able to find another 7 or whatever I'm knitting them on, so I wouldn't have to like put one on waste yarn, which oh, that was so loud. They're kind of going away. That's okay. It was a very nice distraction. I did some Instagram browsing while I was waiting for them to leave because they're just so loud. They're still there, but they're much softer than they were just a minute ago. Okay, moving forward. So yes, there's nothing wrong with putting things on waste yarn. I just like having taking out that one step of like, okay, I need to work on something else. Let me like pick up stitches and put something else on waste yarn. It's just me not wanting to do it. That's all it is. And they're just being so annoying, and I just need to go away. Ugh! I really tried. Okay. Moving forward with things that are already on the needles, that is kind of buried right now, so I'm just gonna remind you of what it is. And direct you towards my Ravelry project page because there are pictures there. You will definitely remember me talking about it if you watch previous episodes. It is the Old Romance cardigan by Joji Locatelli. It is a very long, drapey cardigan. It's beautiful with lace panels down the sides of the arms. I am doing the lace panels in Madeline Tosh Mo Light with the mohair in the antler colorway, so very creamy white. Very beautiful. And then the body is the kitten colorway, which is the same yarn that I'm using in this colorway. So it is beautiful. I'm working on the body. I'm in the land of stockinette stitch, which is fine. Good movie theater knitting. Very wonderful. So that is that. That is a large, how much yardage does that have? 1,200 meters, so that's pretty intense. And other things that I'm wanting to cast on, which I don't have pictures to tell you, but they will be linked in the show notes. There's the Honey Brioche Cowl, which is by Stephen West. That came out recently, and oh my goodness, it is beautiful. So pretty. I want to make that. There's Dodging Raindrops Cowl. I did not write down who these were by, but I will write that in the show notes. I do apologize. Mohunk Delight. I don't even remember what that is. I do apologize. But so yes, that is going to be that. The Chubby Brioche hat, which is just a very chunky hat, and I'm excited about doing that. I think I'll probably dye up yarn for that. I'm very excited. That is also very exciting because clearly I have a good amount of stash, and there is more stash coming, which is very exciting. There's just more stash coming, and there's more opportunities to dye yarn for specific projects, which is just very exciting. I really enjoy doing that. It makes the color choices a little less overwhelming for me, as of right now anyway. I'm sure once I get better at that, it won't be as hard, but for right now, it's like, I really want to make the Chubby Brioche hat. What if I was to have a hat, what kind of color would I want it to be? So there's that. There's the Farmhouse Cardigan, which is by Amy Christophers. I do know that. I will be knitting that out of Cascade Eco Wool. I don't know if it's the Plus. I don't remember which color. I have a lot of various skeins, so we'll figure that out. the cappuccino and brioche hat, which is also very similar to the chubby brioche hat, but it's a little different. Second Chance. Don't remember what that is. That's got a lot of yardage. That must be a shawl or something. Or maybe a sweater. In the show notes. Look there. There's Ramble, which is, I remember, is a brioche shawl by Andrea Mowry, the one that's like got stripes, and then the flower brioche section. And then Brain Flaise. Frieze, which I don't know if that's French, but I think that's how you pronounce it if it was French. So that will take me up to 5K. 15, what am I saying? 15, not 5. 15 kilometers. Which I believe is around 15,000 yards. So, yes. I think it's kilometers. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, like it's fun to say, you know what did I do this summer? I knit 15 kilometers. And people are like, wait, what did you do? You knit that? How is that possible? And it's like, let me tell you about Stash Dash. And then everyone looks at you confused, and then they're like, what do you do? It's like, I'm sorry, I'm a knitter. That's what I do. So yes, I will post all the links to all the project pages, the ones I have started, the ones I have not started, in the show notes. What are you guys working on for Stash Dash? Do you have any plans? Do you have any like blankets you need to finish? I could work on blankets, but I would rather work on things like sweaters and shawls. Although I do know there's a lot of yardage in blankets. The only blanket that I have with me currently, though, is the crocheted granny stripe blanket, and I don't know how much yardage is in that. I'm sure I could make an estimate and do all the grams and stuff like that, but I'm not very good at that, so that is for another time. That is okay. So yes, that will be exciting. I might do some spinning because I have some spinning fiber, but I might say that for the Tour de France. I don't know. That is to be decided. My chair is being squeaky again, but that is okay. In other non-currently knitting news, the test knit that I did for my friend Chelsea, pardon me while I bend down, Forever Summer, the pattern is now live. It went up today. It is published. You can go and get the pattern and knit this beautiful shawl for yourself. You too can have one of these, and it is so beautiful. And you can go and see the pictures that I took of this as well. I had fun taking pictures of it out on our balcony. Yes, it's a very lightweight shawl. It uses around 780-ish yards to 800 yards or whatever. So that is exciting. My yarn, I use my own yarn. This is Catnip Yarns on the Chic base, which is a single ply superwash merino. This very wonderful bright summery orange color is called Cherry Limeade, and it is much more pink in person. Then this blue with the specks of purple and other blues is called Deep Sea Jellyfish. And together, I think it makes a very, very summery shawl, and I'm just very, very happy with it. So, the pattern is out. You can go and buy it. You can go and knit it. Highly, highly recommend it. I would definitely make another one of these for sure. For sure. Because it goes very quickly, and it's good present knitting. So keep this in mind for Christmas. Even though the title has summer in it, it will be a good Christmas present. Which, speaking of Christmas, have you started thinking about knitting Christmas presents? Because I have. I know I need to do that. That's another list I need to start working on. that will be in the future episodes. You can look for that. Maybe on the Instagram, maybe on the blog, who knows, because I haven't written any blog posts recently, but that's okay. You do what you gotta do. And yes, I think that is all knitting wise I have to talk about. I don't have any more news about TV shows or audiobooks or anything. I'm still just plugging along with what I have. Enjoying it. We have a very hot weekend in front of us. This is probably going to be the hottest it's been. The first time it's been this hot this season, so yay. This weekend is Memorial Day if you are in America, so I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day. And we are planning on just taking it easy and exploring some of Dallas, and that is exciting. We're looking forward to doing that. I don't think there's anything else. Let me know what your stash dash plans are. I'm interested to see what everyone else's plans are, because then everyone brings out the old projects, the old stash, and then we can relive old projects, which I think is fun. And then you get to fall in love with projects that you had forgotten about, which is always exciting. I think it's good to remind yourself what you have on the needles, and then you can be like, I wasn't a fan of that before, but now I'm just like really digging those colors, or I'm just like really excited about knitting that lace again. I wasn't before, but that lace, man, I love that lace. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so let me know what your stash dash plans are. Exciting stuff ahead. I don't know which one I will knit. All I know is that, in order to get a certain amount, that is what I need to knit, or around those I can pick and choose if I want to. And so I know what I need to get to if I want. So that is just a very chill way for me to deal with it. I like that way, because then it's like, you could do it, but there's no pressure. You can do whatever you want. Knit what makes you happy. Knit when it makes you happy. So yes. So I think that is all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer for coming back and spending some time with me. I really appreciate you coming back. If you are a new viewer, thank you for trying me out. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Like always, what am I trying to say? Like always, all of my various show notes, social media links, Ravelry groups, and yarn store links are linked down below and linked in the show notes, which are on my blog, which is also linked down below if you're on YouTube. The Ravelry group that has the Ask Me Anything thread, which you can now go ask me questions. That is, if you go to Ravelry, click on the groups tab, search the Cat Knit Podcast, it'll pop up. The online yarn store where you can buy some yarns that I've dyed is the catknityarns.bigcartel.com. Mind blank there for a little bit. That is a thing. I have Facebook, Twitter, Ravelry, and Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram by far. I have been tweeting a little bit more recently, so if you are interested in tweeting, there is that available. I am thinking about maybe doing a Facebook page revamp, because it's for my blog. My blog was called Knitting Goddess with a Cat, and I haven't used it. I only use it to post podcast updates, and so it's just for my blog opposed to the podcast, but I think I need to make it more for the podcast and for my yarn. So that might be in the future. I might work on that. Also, fun fact, I did do this week. You can now say that you used my yarn on Ravelry. It is now in the Ravelry yarn database, which is very exciting. I have various bases up there, all the bases that I have currently, that is. So yeah, so if you've knit something with my yarn, you can go and put that in your project page and it'll pop up. Isn't that exciting? Yay! I was very proud of myself for doing that. I went and took very nice pictures. There's nice pictures, good information. So yeah, if you do that, you can tie my yarn now. I think that is it. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I hope you continue to have a wonderful week or a wonderful weekend. And yeah, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello, bird. Good. Are you good as a boy? Hi. 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 Hello. Hello. Oh, hello. We're back. Hello. Oh yes, lay down. Oh yes. Hello. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy?